Hello, thank you for joining us this evening for another one of our Q and A's. And this one I'm super pumped about, super excited about this one because I'm fortunate in my job that I get to make lots and lots of friends with my clients, and I have been so grateful for that. But going beyond that, I also get to make fantastic groups of family friends and things. And there's no sort of more so than the Gunning family, who I started working with when Michael and Luke, who are brothers, were quite young, which we'll talk about, and they've now kind of grown up to be incredible athletes. And we were really working towards getting working towards their goals, and that was due to really culminate this year for Michael. But what I'm going to do is bring Michael in a second and just look to put some questions to him. So Michael will fill you in a little bit more about himself and what he does. But it's absolute honour for me to bring Michael in. He's a client, a good friend, and a professional athlete. So it should be Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hi, you're right. Thank you for having me.
All right, how you going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good. Good to see you. Was that intro okay?
Oh no, thank you. Very kind. Too kind.
No worries. Well, I didn't want to talk too much about you because you're far more interesting to talk than me. So what I was going to say first of all is just for people watching live on a replay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no. So I'm Michael Gunning. I'm an international swimmer. All my life I have been swimming. You know, Jon would tell you from a youngster I used to do all different sports, even football. But you know, swimming was always kind of on the agenda for me. And yeah, I kind of went to a swimming club and I worked my way up through the swimming club. I got my first national times, and yeah, I made my very first GB team back in 2010, which is 10 years ago now. I'm 26. And, you know, I had an amazing career with GB. I swum open water, European Lane Cup, and won some amazing medals throughout, you know, my career. And, you know, with my heritage, my dad is Jamaican, my mum's British, so I've always had that option to kind of swim for both nations. I've got dual nationality, and it wasn't until 2016 that I decided to take Jamaica up and, you know, start representing them, which is amazing because I do feel like I've been very lucky and I've lived two lives as such. Obviously representing GB and yeah, now Jamaica, and you know, I've been to 2 world championships and I've been around a bit, and I think kind of my mission has always been just to inspire as many people as I possibly can. You know, there's some amazing people out there winning loads of Olympic gold medals, and for me Olympics has just been a dream. And I think, you know, when I was younger I always wanted to achieve it, but I never quite believed it. But you know, this year I was literally touching distance away from it, and with the whole pandemic it's kind of been pulled away, the rug's been pulled away under my feet. So it's been strange to get used to it and to overcome different challenges as an athlete. But yeah, I'm really proud of what I've achieved, and hopefully I'll go on to making the Olympics next year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as I said, that's kind of just been this huge aim ever since I've been working with you. It's been building up to that point. So it was so kind of cool that that's been taken away this year, but it's definitely not been taken away, just been delayed. So yeah, onwards and upwards for next year. So it'll probably be interesting for people just to hear a little bit about how you first got into swimming, basically.
Yeah, so you know, when I was 4 years old, my mum and dad are not really strong swimmers, and they kind of pushed me into learning to swim. You know, we went on many holidays, and you know, they didn't want me to be one of the kids that, you know, they had to watch 24/7 and was scared about drowning. And because obviously, like, being in the water and swimming is a life skill. So yeah, me and my brother had swimming lessons, and to be honest with you, I hated it at first. You know, I wanted to mess around, I wanted to play, I didn't really want to learn to swim. But a coach actually noticed me, who was my swim teacher, and she said, you know, I also coach at Beckenham Swimming Club, which was the club I was at you know, for many years as a junior. And so I moved to that swimming club and just worked my way up through the ranks. And you know, never did I ever believe that I would have achieved what I have. So yeah, but if it wasn't for that teacher telling me to move to a swimming club or to Beckenham, yeah, I probably wouldn't be sat here today.
It's incredible when you hear these little things of how they scope our life. So
yeah.
One of the both with you know, yourself and your brother Luke, lots of clients who've seen me would have heard me speak about you guys as kind of examples, because the thing that's always amazed me in the time that I've kind of known you guys, which says a long time now, is the dedication that you have given to your sport and your dreams and your ambitions. So what I think would be interesting is just to ask you a little bit about what a typical training day was like for you kind of growing up. Well, I shouldn't say training day, it was a typical day. So tell me about when you were growing up.
Yeah, most swimmers, we're in the water 20 hours a week, 20 to 30 hours a week. So, growing up, I always used to do, I think, 3 early morning training sessions a week and all evening sessions a week in the pool. So, I used to wake up before school, used to wake up at 5, swim 6 till 8, and then drive straight to school. Obviously be at school all day, and then I'd go back again to train in the evening for another 2 hours. So back then, looking back, I don't actually know how I'd done it and how I woke up that early and how I wasn't falling asleep in class every day, but that was just the routine. And that's, most young swimmers' journey. You have morning and evening training, and, it's a lot of hours. Now I've graduated, I've got a university degree, but, I'm kind of a full-time swimmer. So now I swim, it's my regime is totally different now because I get to have that little bit of a lay in, and it's not so much focusing on school, it's just focusing on swimming.
So, on that note, you link nicely into my next question, which is, as you say, that was your dedication growing up. You're now close, you are a professional athlete. So what does a typical day look for you now? I suppose now's a little bit different with what's going on, but a little bit about a typical training day.
Yeah, no, so obviously when I wasn't in quarantine and lockdown, I'd get up at 6, we'd be at the pool at 7ish. We'd do like half an hour of activation and stretching work before we got in the pool. Then it's 2.5 hours in the pool, followed by an hour's gym session. We'd obviously go home, have a couple of hours off in the day, and then, we'd do it all again in the evening, minus the gym. So we'll just get to the pool at 3, get in at 4 after we've stretched and maybe done a little bit of cardio on land. And then it's another 2.5 hours in the pool. And, that is Monday to Friday. And then on Saturday, we just have one morning training session. So, it's definitely developed over the years. But obviously, right now it is very different. I haven't been in the pool for several weeks, and I think one of the bigger things that has got me through that is knowing that the whole world is in the same position. All the pools are closed across the world. No one has access. So I'm definitely doing what I can. I'm still trying to, replicate the 2 sessions, morning and evening. It's definitely not as much. And I think I've definitely found how much swimming kind of keeps my figure trim, and I've got to do so much more cardio than I'm used to because, being in the pool for 2 hours is just second nature to me. But being on land, there's just nothing that will replicate swimming. So it's been tough. It's been a tough transition, but I'm definitely trying to keep positive with it and, just take the positives.
Yeah, good shout. I like that. One of the things I wanted to ask you as well is so far, and I emphasize so far, what has been your greatest achievement?
Oh, I have 2.
Okay, I like that.
So my first one was making my very first, Great Britain team. I remember getting all the kit, and that was just a magical day in my household because, it's just nothing like putting on the GB tracksuit for the very first time and having those butterflies and being excited to compete and go away and leave your family, I suppose, for the very first time. So that was amazing. But I think for me, going to my very first World Championships and kind of always watching it on TV, always, being that person that's saying, I'd love to be there one day, just like the Olympics. But I think going to the World Championships made it real and made me realise, I suppose, how good I am and, how I deserve to be there. And it was an amazing experience. And I'd encourage anyone that has dreams, whatever sport, go to a World Championships and, go for your dreams because it's amazing.
Great stuff. Yeah, it's incredible. And so going forwards then, what do you kind of hope to achieve? What's the overall aim for you?
I'd love to get into an Olympic final. Obviously, most people want to go to the Olympics. From a young age, I've always said I want to go to an Olympics. But I think for me, making a semi-final, making a final, and being, the top 8 or top 16 in the whole world at that year, at that time is just, an absolute dream. And it's tough. There's a lot of swimmers out there. Not only, obviously I do swim here in the UK, despite representing Jamaica, and I'm very lucky with, I get to swim with the British team and have the support from them. But, I think everyone around the world, you underestimate how many people are swimming, how many people are competing. And it's such an achievement. And hopefully next year that will come true.
Yeah, agreed. I'm sure there's lots of us with our fingers crossed. We're all looking forward to that moment. And as you say, it was very kind of tough for you building up for that this year, and then to have that kind of taken away, or as I say,
Yeah.
delayed. But yeah, I'm sure these things are sent to test us, so you'll come back stronger.
Yeah, I think every athlete, goes through obstacles, just is ready for the unknown, really. And I think this is the biggest unknown yet, that no one knows how to deal with it. Everyone's struggling, and everyone around the world is in the same boat. At first that transition was hard. It was, didn't know what to expect. But I think now we're getting used to it, and I think a lot of us have routines, and I think like a routine is so important. We can't wake up at 9-10 o'clock. We've got to try and be early risers to get that session in and to make the most of it.
Yeah. Well, so, and then what would be, on that note, so what's your favorite thing about being an athlete?
I've never been asked that before, that's a good question.
Okay, there you go. I do my best.
I'm gonna say being like superhuman. I remember when I was at school and people were like, you swam this morning, and they just couldn't get their head around us swimming. And like, if I swam against a general human being, just we underestimate how we move our body from one end of the pool to the other so quickly. It's an amazing skill. And I think, because we swim so much, 25 hours a week, and we go up and down, we sometimes don't appreciate, the little things of, being up on the water and having the power to move. And I think, like when I do retire, whenever that may be in the future, I think it'll be really strange not having that bit of uniqueness about me anymore. I love being unique, and I love being different, and having a skill that not many people can actually do.
Yeah, I love that answer. Actually, I think that's a great answer. And it always used to amaze me when I'd see Michael and his brother Luke, and we'd always see like sort of the later appointments in the evening, because by the time they got to me, it was just fascinating for me, like you said, that they were, you'd always say I was in the pool at 6 and I did that, and then I went to school, and then I had my evening session, and now I come to see you for conditioning work and injuries, and it was just incredible. It was just a typical day, and I was like, wow. And it's it gave me an incredible appreciation. Ever since meeting you guys and all the other athletes that I've worked with, when I watch things like the Olympics now and see people achieve this, it's just incredible what goes into that journey. And I think us people just watching sometimes just don't realize the dedication that goes in, and you're a perfect example for that. And if we have people watching this and who are perhaps aspiring to be an athlete and following your footsteps, as you say, whichever sport, would you have any tips about anyone who would love to be a professional athlete?
I think being a professional athlete comes with a big commitment, and you don't have to commit too early. When I was younger, I just enjoyed the sport, and I encourage everyone to, whatever sport you do, whatever you're going into, whether it's even out of the sport, whether it's a job that you like, you've got to enjoy it, because that's ultimately what it comes back to. During the hardest sessions of my swimming, during waking up early at 5 a.m. every morning, you've got to love it. So I think enjoyment is just one. But being a professional athlete comes with nutrition, the little shoulder niggles and stuff that you've got to make sure that the minute you feel something, you've got to do the rehab for it. And it is a big commitment, but ultimately so worth it. And it's possible.
Great stuff. And so, we've obviously spoken a lot about you being an athlete and things. What do you like to do when you're away from the pool?
Well, I think in lockdown, I've actually got a new YouTube channel, which I've always been, you can ask my family, when a long time ago when I used to go on holidays, I always used to have a camera and record every little bit of my holiday and the things that we were getting up to. So I think I do have a passion for, just sharing with people and letting people know what I get up to. So I've started a YouTube channel to, help swimmers out and help athletes out and just have a bit of fun. I've been doing some question and answers on there, which has been really fun, and like quick fire round questions. But I think, for me, I love especially in lockdown, doing some stuff that I don't normally get time for. Like obviously I'm here with some really close friends. That's who I'm isolating with. I miss my family so much and I can't wait to see them. But I think it's been nice to spend a bit of time with them, because obviously being an athlete and being always up so early, I'm so tired all the time. And I don't feel like I'm really present with them when I come home from training. So it's been nice to be present and to enjoy, different activities, playing around the house, because I've got a little goddaughter, which I'm in the playroom now. So yeah, we play all day and reading a book, learning new skills, and just spending that little bit more time on FaceTime with my family and catching up and just doing things I don't normally get to do, I suppose.
And I'd say as well, Michael has got a great YouTube channel. It's worth, he might not thank me for this, but it's been one of my favourite videos of lockdown for an incident that happened with a bird. That's all I'll say about it. So we haven't spoken about it. Oh, yeah. And you'll know what I mean on one of his Q and A sessions in a moment. So yeah, I've got kind of one final question, and if anybody's watching and they'd like me to put any questions to Michael before we finish up, feel free to drop those into the comments. But I was just going to mention as well, because we haven't spoken about it, you've mentioned sort of enjoying being on film. You were in a TV show as well, so fill us in on that one.
Yeah, I think being a swimmer and being obviously in the pool all the time, that's all I really had time for. And I'm not really a reality TV type of person. I don't watch loads of reality TV. I watch Love Island and a few occasional things, but never have I said, I would love to be on a television show, I suppose. But back in 2018, I kind of had a rough year with just missing out on the Commonwealth Games team. And, that summer I got invited to do a dating show. And at first I was like, no, I only get a few weeks off. I want to spend the time with my family. But, I think for me as a person, it's so important, to be my authentic self, to kind of put myself out there into, being 100% true to myself. And, one of the big factors, of my life was I was really suppressing my sexuality. So I wasn't really ready to go on that journey to kind of explore it. But, that year was the only time really where I felt like I could, and just kind of put myself out there and kind of do something for me. So that TV show was the first thing I'd done for me. And I came out as gay on the TV show. It was called The Bi Life. And it was amazing. We went to Barcelona for 4 weeks and we went on different dates, and they were flown in from the UK. And it was just amazing to be around like-minded people and, talk about stereotypes, talk about the different subjects of LGBT and how other people were feeling about their mental health. And, it was an amazing show that really broadcast, it was the first LGBT dating show in the UK. So it was a pleasure to obviously be on that show. And and I had such an amazing response of, people resonating with my story. And I was just so overwhelmed that by being myself, just people liked that, and it just gave me so much more confidence in swimming and obviously in other aspects of my life. And since then I go to different competitions and people come up to me and they ask me for photos, and I say, is it because you saw me swim here? Is it because of Jamaica? They said, oh no, we saw you on that TV show. And it's so nice that, because it was on E! Channel and it was broadcast like all over the world, in Australia, and it's just nice that people got to see that side of me. And I've kind of put myself out there now, and I'm the happiest I've ever been whilst competing in, my normal everyday life. And, I'm not suppressing anything. And I think that's so important.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's brilliant. I mean, I think, as you say, I think probably the only fear when I knew, probably similar to your family, that you're going on the show, was perhaps you never know how these things are going to be edited, and would you be portraying the incredible character you are. But, I felt that it just portrayed you brilliantly, and you were exactly yourself. We loved it. My wife and I were happy, really enjoyed it. But it was really interesting seeing you being you, but also you mixing with people who weren't athletes as well, and them understanding about the dedication that you put into things and stuff. It was just really cool to see. So and it was set in Barcelona, which is a fantastic place as well.
And you mentioned that it was so strange because most 90% of my time is spent around athletes, is spent around the poolside. So to be thrown in a villa with 5 people that didn't do sport, it was strange. And I never went to university. I'd kind of done my university course online, and and, or to be fair, 2 years of that I did go in, but I went into the lecture, I'd done the lecture and I went out because I had to go swimming again. I never really interacted with anyone else. I didn't have peer groups, I was just there to do a job. And it was so nice to kind of have that university feel where we stayed up a bit late. And yeah, I feel like I kind of had that youth and kind of the uni halls experience where, you're with people and you're having fun and, kind of a step outside of that athlete world. So it was very cool. And, loads of people asked me, do you have any regrets? Would you do it again? And I think, the door it's open for me because of my personality. I've always wanted to be, a children's teacher or something, to do with kids because I love helping and giving back, especially in, a swim teacher. I want to give back in swimming. But, I think one of the dream roles for me would be, a children's presenter or a presenter. And I've had so many, different offers that's come up about, wanting me to present and wanting me to support for this charity and that charity. And it's amazing. And, not only have I done that in my swimming career, but I've been able to do that, as myself away from the professional athlete that people call me. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. Great. It was it highlighted the dedication that you've put to your sport. I remember the guy sort of saying, "Oh, so you haven't been to a club or you haven't done this?" And why? And you were like, "Because I was training. I was in the pool." It's so interesting for everybody to see what I'd seen, and and your family and your close friends had seen the sort of dedication that you've put. And so, as I said, and that was why I really wanted to, really grateful for you coming on today, because I've always enjoyed seeing that dedication. And now, hopefully, it's all going to kind of culminate next year with that overall kind of dream of making the Olympics and things. And I mean, if you've been watching this back, I would say as well, Michael, is an incredibly interesting person to follow on social media. So I would really recommend that, particularly as he sort of ramps back up the training once we get back to normal and things, and watching him travel the world and stuff. So I think just got his sort of social media handles there for Instagram and Twitter. So I'm sure he'd be happy for you guys to follow his progress and kind of, join me in sort of hoping he go and achieve the dreams that he so really deserves. So
thank you. Thank you for having me on. And for anyone watching, like, we are living in extremely strange times, and everyone's in the unknown. With athletes around the world are just having to change their programs and adapt, and that might cause injuries or worries, niggles. And I think during this time it's so important to reach out and talk to one another, because we're all in the same boat, and we just need to stay strong, stay positive, and just know that together we will come out stronger. So stay positive, people.
Couldn't agree more. Fantastic words, Michael. So yeah, well, thank you for your time today. I really appreciated it, and thank you for you guys who have watched us today. And well, to all of you and yourself, I look forward to kind of catching up with you guys all soon. And thank you for your time, Michael. And hopefully, when we're out of this quarantine, we can catch up again.
No, definitely. Thank you for having me on. I'll see you soon.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.